graduated out of the system.
Hi, everyone. My name is Georgette True, and I work for Attorney Vincent Davis, and I am the host of this show, Relatives Fight CPS, right? Am
That's
I right?
right.
Oh, no, Fight CPS with Miss G. Sorry. Oh, my
Mhm.
God. I kind of like, I don't know what show it is. Oh, my goodness. So I have my lovely two co-hosts here, Miss Treasure and Miss Stacy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, sweethearts. So I wanted to discuss something first, and then second, um, we're going to talk about psychotropic medication for kids in foster care. Okay, but I want to just address something to a young mom that I spoke with just now before the show began, and look, I love God and I'm with God and I am, I'm all for God. However, God didn't tell us to be silly and stupid. Okay. So what happened was, it's a CPS investigation. So I told the young mother, she sent me a video of the transaction. I mean, the interaction with the social worker. So the social worker went to her house and the complaint came from her sister. Her sister is seeing a therapist. I'm going to mute you guys, okay, for the background only. Her sister is seeing a therapist, and she told the therapist that about the sister that I talked to, the mother, leaving her child in the backyard unattended. So that therapist took it upon himself or herself to report that mother that I spoke with to CPS. So CPS came to her home. I see the video. Then the social worker said, well, there's a big chance that we're going to remove your 23 months old baby. She said, you have no authority. Only God has that authority. Only this. And she started talking to her about God and the Bible. I told you guys 100 times, these people do not care about God. They don't operate on God. And for any one of you guys, and this is not saying anything about God because I love him, okay? But also God told us to be wise. Wise. We have to choose our words carefully. These people don't care what God you're talking about. So she was the social worker. I can see the video. She didn't care to hear any of that. Okay, so you need to lawyer up. And I told her to lawyer up. I literally told her to lawyer up. She said no, because God is going to help me. I told her God sends us people to guide us, to educate us, right? She said, "Oh, no, no, no! In Catholic faith, God, we have to have this and that." And I'm like, "Okay, all right." I said, "Then what can I do to help you?" She still hasn't asked me one single question, and I just want to let mothers know out there: God saves us, yes, but we also have to help us ourselves, and God is with us. Meaning, if God sends you somebody to educate you and give you knowledge about the situation you're in, right? And you discern between if this is from God or if this is from Satan, because Satan can send you people too to mislead you. I mean, discernment is important too, guys. I mean, if you guys are Christian, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you guys have to think wise. You guys cannot be drowning in the ocean and God sends you so many people to save you, and you say, "Oh no, thank you, I'm waiting for God." Well, God sent you these people, right? And you're waiting for God, but that's all I have to say. Um, That's all I gotta say. So before we get into the tropic medicine, do you guys, Stacy, do you want to share with them about what you experienced in court today, or? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Uh, going to um, so I've been helping a family where the mother lost custody of her autistic son, and the son was sent to live in a group home. But the autistic son has a history of sexualized behaviors, and it's thought because the child was sexually abused within a group home in his time that he was put in the system. and these were reactive behaviors. And at the time he was being sent to the group home as a physician assistant, I sent a letter to CPS in the courts saying that this is not a good idea to put a child with sexualized behaviors into a group home having access to so many other children.
Right.
And so the obvious occurred, and the way I found out that this child was sexually abusing other children in the group home is because another parent called me for help, and he was saying that his son is in this horrible place. And I said, maybe you want to talk to this other parent whose child is there too. And I told this parent that the boy was there, with these issues.
Right.
So the father thought to ask his son if he was being abused over there. And lo and behold, his son disclosed he was. So we were able to get that boy out of the group home by court watching. And now the goal is to get the child with autism and sexualized behaviors out of the group home so that he doesn't harm any more children. And the grandmother appeared in court, and the grandmother is a very capable woman. I'd say she's just a smidgen older than me. And, appears very capable, but doesn't have a driver's license to drive. It's quite a distance to get to the court to pick up her court record. So she tried in court, and she tried to go to court and say there's this change of circumstances. My grandson is being, neglected because he's not being watched appropriately. And he's also a risk of harm to himself and others with these behaviors. So that's a change in circumstance, and I want him home with me. Where she doesn't have a boyfriend, she lives alone. There's no other little kids in the house for him to have access to. There's actually no other kids in the house. And she's fully capable of caring for him, lives in her own place. And the judge denied her a hearing. And the judge said, I don't know how you came across this information that he sexually victimized anyone else, but I would assume it's confidential, so I don't think you really came across this information, and denied her a hearing. So a few problems. Number one, I'm not sure if she was entitled to an attorney, but certainly the judge never made sure if she wanted to have an attorney or not. Number two, the judge denied her a whole hearing. Number three, the judge failed to allow the woman to present a change of circumstances in the best interest of the child. Number four, the Family Court Act, children are supposed to go to family members, or I'm sorry, not the Family Court Act, the Family First Act, children are supposed to go to family members before being put in the system. And the states must minimize the amount of time children are in the system and in foster care. So this woman has no history of child abuse, never been arrested. She's a very simple woman. God bless her. And so we've been working on her appeal, and every time I go to pick up the record, they deny her the certified complete and accurate record. And they're like, oh no, we only give out motions and petitions. We don't give out the whole court record. And it's like, but that's what due process is. That's the right to have the whole complete and accurate court record certified. And I have my own appeals that I'm doing, and they did the same thing to me, and it's a problem. So since November, this woman has been requesting her court record to be able to perfect her appeal. And I drove all the way. Probably took me an hour and a half to get to her house, then another hour to get back to Buffalo, to drive her there to pick up her court record in person. And same thing, they were only going to give her the motions and petitions and not the complete record. And we said, no, it needs to be certified as the complete and accurate record. Not inaccurate, but and accurate, just to be clear. And they refused to give her a complete and accurate record or a certification that it's the complete and accurate record. And they refused to give a copy of the docket sheet, which proves what exactly is officially on the court record, so people can't slip things in there or they can't take things out. So multiple times, I've been to the clerk's office multiple times. They said that I couldn't pick up her court record for her because I'm not her. They said, but if you send a notarized letter with my driver's license, that they'll release the record to me. So we did that. And then I went back, no, we're not giving you the record. So they're like, well, we emailed it to her. And I said, I saw what you emailed her. It's not certified and it's not original documents, which is the requirement of the appellate court. I went back today. They still wouldn't give me the record despite my complaints with their demands for a notarized letter and a copy of my driver's license. They refused to produce the record, and they said, we emailed it to her. And I was like, that doesn't count for the appellate court. So the court clerk, she says, court officers, take her out of the building. So I'm like, no, this isn't right. Like, this is a crime what they're doing, not me. It's a crime what they're doing. I'm allowed to be here and request a court record, and there's a notarized letter that I'm allowed to receive it. So I'm just doing what's compliance with the law. And so I started walking, I'm like, this is really a crime. Like, this has been since November. We've been requesting this woman's record so that she can save her grandson from neglect and possibly being a public health threat to other children. And we're trying to do the right thing here. This is a grandmother that they're harassing with their course of continuing conduct to annoy and alarm her, not give her record. And it's obstruction of justice in New York State. It's New York State Penal Law 195.05. It's also 18 USC 1512 and 2071. These are crimes. And so I'm like, to the court officers, I'm like, look, you're not to be coming after me. You should be arresting her.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, no, we don't do that. You should. Your oath on file that's supposed to be with the state is that you uphold the Constitution. It's a constitutional right for people to have their record.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, I'll call the police because the police have to enforce New York State Penal Law 195.05, obstruction of justice. And, they come around and like, well, I talked to her and I talked to her. She said they already gave you the record. And I was like, that's not the record for an appeal. It needs to be the original documents and it needs to be certified. It's not. So they ended up not giving me her record. So now I'm going to have to do a federal injunction and I'm going to seek sanctions. And I went right over to the county clerk's office, and this woman doesn't have an oath on file to be the family court clerk.
But we talked about that because she might be through the state. Get it?
Right.
So I did through the state. Right.
So through the county clerk's office, she doesn't have an oath on file there. And so I'm waiting to hear back from the state to see if she has an oath on file with the state.
So, okay. So I just want people to know that this is the procedure that Stacey's not an attorney. She's a physician assistant, right? She works in a hospital. She's in the ER. She's literally doing a lot for people who need help with CPS in her state of New York. Now, this is the amount of work she has to put in. And she's running back and forth. This is between her work, by the way, helping other people. Okay. Running back and forth. And she does get in New York. And honestly, anyone that has a case in New York is blessed to have you there. May God give you strength. I'm serious because you're good, Stacey. You're really good. But you're learning as you go too. But do you see how all the runarounds you have to do? That's crazy.
It's terrible. And I was like, I told the cop, I said, geez, for the amount of time it took for you to get here, I could have already filed the federal injunction, and the courthouse is right there.
There you go. See?
They tried to take so long that I might just leave.
I know. But see, what I'm saying is they do that on purpose. That's why an attorney costs a lot of money, because the attorney already knows the law. They already know where to go, right? But you're learning as you go. You're learning as you go.
They're catching on to me because this oath thing, nobody else does it. Because attorneys would never do this oath thing because it would be career suicide. Because what the oath means, if it comes back that this woman doesn't have an oath on file with the state and she doesn't have one on file with the county, which we already know she doesn't have one on file with the county, if she has no oath on file, her position is vacant. And it's not just vacant, but it's vacant from the day she stepped into her office. attorneys won't play like that with each other. And they're starting to catch on to me. So when I went over to get a certified letter that she has no oath on file, they tried to charge me like $200.
And
I got it for $10.
$10?
$10.
How did you do that? So people can see or hear what you're doing.
Oh, it took some.
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
here,
What?
I'll show it to you. Wait a minute.
You're
Let me find
driving.
it.
Okay.
I pulled over. Here. See? There.
Oh, wow. They wanted to charge you $200 and you said, no, this is going to be $10, right?
Yep. And see, it's certified.
Yeah, I see.
And it says, I, Michael Kearns, clerk of the County of Erie and clerk of the Supreme and County Courts in and for said county, the same being courts of records, do hereby certify that I have made a diligent search of records of the Erie County Clerk's Office for oath cards, Kelly Buckley, for the period of 1994 to 2024, and the following, no records found. So she has no oath on file with the county whatsoever. Now, she might have it on file with the state, and I'm not sure because...
But you have proof. You have proof of that. So
right.
now...
She is an employee of the unified court system, but it is in Niagara County, so... or in Erie County, so I think really her oath is supposed to be on file with the county and not the state, but I've checked the state too, just to be sure.
And?
I didn't hear back. Let me look and see.
That is so... But see, that's exactly... Yeah. If
That's
she has
good.
no oath on file... Huh?
Yeah,
Good
if
stuff.
she has no oath on file, it'll be New York State Public Officers Law, Section 30, that her position is vacant from the beginning. Ab initio is the word. Her position will be vacant from 2017.
Damn, Stacy. Do you guys hear this? I wish you guys... This is in the state of New York, guys. That's where Treasure and Stacy are. They're in New York.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, Stacy, that's good work.
There's all kinds of... There's so
I'm
much
sorry, what?
corruption and conspiracy in New York State that we need to expose this.
I agree, 100%.
I had a blessing today. I had a blessing happen, Miss G.
What happened? Share the blessing.
So all these court officers were gathering around me. Like they gather around me, and it's such a waste of time because I don't own any weapons. I'm not a criminal. I'm literally in the court trying to get a woman's record so that she can save her grandson from abusing other children and save himself from the neglect of, inadequate supervision, right? With his issues. And I'm there on my volunteer time, so I'm a very good person. I'm not a bad person.
Right.
And so all these court officers are coming around me, and they're all being nasty.
Oh my God.
And then this one comes up to me, and I know they play good cop, bad cop, but I do believe this guy. He came up to me, he goes, "So what's your beef?" I was like, look, this is what's going on. And I said, and all these officers all the time, they just do whatever the judge says, And I was like, but they never really look and see what the law is to see if anyone's just telling them, because sometimes a judge's interest is not the same as ours. Like our constitutional right to have the record is legit. A judge saying I can't have it is wrong. Right. And when you see a clerk doing that and denying the record, that's against the law. It's a crime. And they'll always
Can I ask you a question?
The side.
When you say, are you transcripts? Are you trying to get the transcripts for the case? Or are you just talking about records?
The record, the actual court record.
Okay,
Okay.
and then what happened?
So he came up to me and he's like, "What's your beef?" And I was like, and all these people, they're always like, "Oh, they do the okay, boss," and don't do the right thing, and they don't listen. Like, this is a crime. The chief clerk should actually be getting arrested, not me.
Right.
And I was like, all the time, the court officers, just have such bias and they're such patsies. And he goes, "Well, I know I'm opposite." And I was like, "Well, I hope you are. I don't know." Because, I just thought, he's playing good cop, bad cop. He's like, "Wait, what's your name?" And I go, "Stacy," but I used my married name. He's like, "Oh, I thought you might be a different Stacy." I was like, "Sound letter?" He goes, yeah, from Be Loud on Facebook. He goes, I'm in that group.
Oh no, are you serious?
Yeah.
Why is he in that group? Think about it. Why?
And he tried to help me out.
Right,
Stacy.
why is he in that?
Stacy, what did I tell you guys before? Wait, hold on. No, Stace. No, Stace. No.
It's okay, Miss G, it's okay. If he's a friend or foe, it doesn't matter to me, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not like I gave him personal information or something he can use against me. I'm here to get a court record, which is owed to a disabled grandmother who wants custody of her son, and she can't drive here to be here and pick it up. What are they going to use against me?
No, but do you remember when I told you guys that they disguise themselves and they go on social media groups?
He doesn't disguise himself. And so what if he's on my group? I allow anyone to be on my group. I want friends. I want foes to be on my group. I want both sides. Because what I'm saying is the truth. So then what?
I don't know. They might, I don't know. I just feel like they would use the truth and twist it and, flip it up and down and season it up with salt and pepper. And you know what I mean? Kind of like.
I'm careful, Miss G. I'm careful. Yeah. And the things that I do, I make sure that I always try to make sure that what I say can be factually supported. Everything that I expose. And to date, I haven't ever, I expose a lot. And I have never been sued by anybody because discovery would be more painful for them than me.
Yep.
That's good.
Because what I post is the truth.
Yeah, but don't you wish CPS would operate that way too? That the burden of truth is on them when they accuse a parent falsely?
Yes,
I wish. You know what I mean? Like it's hearsay, but the burden on truth is never on them because they're the ones who came up with the allegations. Get it?
So
I mean,
burden of proof is against the parent to try to prove that they're innocent. And most of the time, CPS false allegations, defamation of character, and get away with it with no immunity, with immunity. Like no accountability in their lies. They can say anything. I can't.
I get you. I totally get you. But I just feel that the state is just one-sided. That's all, just one-sided. The state and county, and I don't even feel it is a fact. They're one-sided. If they want the mother to be in the wrong or the father or both, they're going to take that child no matter what anyone thinks. There is no innocent until proven guilty when it comes to CPS. I mean, if you guys really follow the trial with Fannie Willis or Fannie Wills or whatever, Fannie something Wills, the district attorney in Georgia, and her guy, that DA that or whatever.
Oh yeah, she's
hired. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I saw her on trial sitting down on testifying yesterday, and she was so aggressive. She was standing in front of the judge. She was like, and then she's like holding her paper. She's like, this is false. This is a lie. Exactly like this lie. And I'm like, if any one of us did this in court, they will deem us unfit.
Right.
To exist. I mean, to me, you guys should watch it. It's amazing how they lie. They convince their lies. Oh my God. This DA is not the only DA. There's a lot of district attorneys in LA County, especially, that actually would marry a man a father who's dealing with CPS and help that father take children from their mom. And the mother is innocent. And I know a case like that. And I'm telling you, as God is my witness, you guys have no idea that you guys think you're going through this alone. You're not. DAs, district attorneys, everywhere in the United States. As Fannie Wills was exposed, everyone else is going to be exposed. They just keep getting exposed slowly, though.
Right. You're saying the levels in which they're willing to stoop to collect children. More children. And it's
and
pretty
there's that DA's best friend is a CPS judge, and that CPS judge took his wife's kids from her so he can avoid paying child support. That's all he wanted. So she's older than him, and she went on along with it, you know. And they got married, and now he can't divorce her, and he's miserable because she's now a judge. Okay, and there's another judge in another state that's getting elected. Right? He's in the ballot. You wrote the name down, I hope, Treasure. He's a CPS attorney who's running for office.
Yes.
Judge, okay. Can you please share the state and the name of that person so people don't vote for him? Because
Yes.
he's a crook.
Let me get it.
And
I
he's
have it written.
and he's running to be a judge for the state. Okay, and he's a
Mm-hmm.
DCFS attorney currently. So if you guys are in that state, I'm asking you guys not to vote for him. She's getting it from her phone.
Yes.
I told her. I thought you had it ready for everyone.
I'm sorry.
Hi, Miss G. I'm here.
Okay.
Mike
What happened?
Goldswick.
Okay.
Michael what?
Mike Godlewski. Godlewski. His name is Mike, and then it's spelled Godlewski. He's in Schenectady Family Court. We need to be aware of him. He is running for judge in our district, and he should not be elected in. He is a DCF attorney.
Can you? But he hurt a lot of family, and every case he has is the same exact allegation, and his connection. His wife is connected, right? His wife is connected with.
Now, we're also talking about Judge Mark Blanchfield, whose wife is an OBGYN connected with hospitals.
Yes.
Now, he's for Superior Court judge, and he was our judge, and he's the judge to 3 other cases that are illegal in our county that are taking place as we speak. So he's running for Supreme Court judge, and people have to be careful who they elect into these positions, because we are actually allowing ourselves to be vulnerable to the system.
Yeah.
When we, he's Democrat, but I'm not saying anything bad about Democrat because I don't believe in them. But I'm just saying that these people are in charge of our children, and they're trafficking and kidnapping children. I call it past sin. It's atrocities. It's egregious what's happening here in our county. I just found out that Times Union wants to run a story on what's happening in Schenectady County because it's so bad and it's been happening for so long.
Wow.
It's illegal. It's unconstitutional.
It is.
Children
But
die.
can you name that judge again that's running for a seat?
Yes, that would be Mark Blanchfield.
Okay, Judge Mark Blanchfield.
Yes.
In
Schenectady County.
In New York, right?
Okay.
He's
yes.
running. Right. He's running
for Superior Court judge. The other one is Mike Godlewski. He's running for judge. So when you hear that name, we have to know not to check him on our ballot.
Yeah.
We can't let them in. We got to blockade them because they block us when we want to get our children back.
Mm-hmm.
This
has to do with what's right. Listen, we need to vote them out. We need to get them out of office in order for us to get people that's worthy of having our tax dollars spent on them. We need judges who are fair. You understand? Right. Like that judge I was telling you about that's connected to that man's wife. I mean, his mistress, because he was with her the whole entire marriage, right?
Yes.
He was a district attorney in LA County.
Wow.
LA County. He got involved with her, took his wife's kids based on false allegations that she's telling the kids that their dad is the devil. And that same judge that removed the kids from her is her best friend. You know what I mean? So basically, we are literally entertaining crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're entertaining crazy. And the more you vote for these people, or the more you don't vote, and they get reelected, meaning they just stay on.
That's right.
Longer. And that's not what we want. We want, if you don't do your job, we're going to vote you out. And if you do your job, you're fair. You have to look at evidence. If the social worker doesn't give you evidence, then what the heck are we doing? What
I believe
are we doing?
Some judges have to be removed, and they have to be brought up on an ethics committee, because how bad what they're doing is. They're not constitutionally correct, and they're not upholding the laws that they were put in position. The laws were meant for the people, and the judges were meant to uphold the laws to protect the people. And it's violating our rights, all of them: civil rights, constitutional rights, due process rights, grandparents' rights. I am fed up, Georgetta. I know you can hear me today because I did go to court with that family today. I just want you to know I did show up. I had to, because I was convicted on all sides, to just at least support them. I don't care if he believes in aliens. He might be crazy as a bat, but you know, they still don't deserve to have their children kept away from them. Yesterday, the phone call was that his daughter had bruises all over her back, and that they keep not taking her to the hospital whenever she's injured in foster care. And that's what happened to my grandson. So I could identify with the pain of being helpless and not able to do anything when your child is injured in the foster system, and they don't take a doctor.
They don't take care of them. They really don't. They really don't. And that's why the children, and then this is why I want to talk about this this medication.
Yes.
So this medication is all over the states of the United States. It's a foster care quality improvement project, right?
Yes.
It's the foster care quality improvement project. It's called psychotropic medication.
Yes.
Okay. Psychotropic medication. And let me explain to you guys what a psychotropic medication is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
God help me. So psychotropic medication is given to children from age 2 and up for emotional, behavioral actions.
Yeah, almost like an
patterns. This is usually develops when you remove a child from their caregiver. Caregiver is usually the mom. The mom is the caregiver. So usually this happens when you remove the child from the home. They develop anxiety. They develop trauma. Right? That's why psychiatrists who diagnose you, a parent, as a 730 psych evaluation, if the psychiatrist says nothing is wrong with the mother, return the kids to her immediately due to kids being traumatized, being away from the mom, right?
Yes.
This is detrimental to the children. If a psychiatrist ever wrote that down on a CPS report, that report will never be admitted into court, because CPS is going to say that psychiatrist is biased.
Can I tell you something
Even
else?
if that's their psychiatrist, right?
Yes.
That they assign to the parents. But this medication, you guys, it's a real drug. It's not safe, and it was not even proven to be safe for children.
And side effects. I've watched it. Side effects long term. I'm talking about children that have shakes even after leaving foster care, graduating out.
Long term side effect is diabetes, high blood pressure, heart failure, dependence,
and nervous,
being dependent on drugs, and something else I forgot. But these children are emotionally drained, not because of the parents, it's because they were removed from their caregiver, right? So be sure your child is not taking that medication. When your child is transferred into a home, right? Do not make sure everything in your power. Get an attorney. I'm asking you guys, if you have to sell the shirt off your back, get a CPS defense attorney. And quickly, because a CPS defense attorney, if he or she are competent, make sure they're not family law attorneys. Make sure they are CPS defense attorneys. These are not called public defenders. These are called third party outside of the state. They don't get paid by the state or county. These are attorneys that you actually retain to fight your case, right? So they work for you. They don't work for county or state. but the public defenders don't work for you. They just have your name as a number, and you're just nothing but a number. The first thing the public defender will say is listen to the social worker. If you do everything the social worker asks of you, everything is going to be fine.
But it
Not
never
true.
worked out. It never
It
worked
doesn't
out.
work out that way. So the drug, again, is called psychotropic medication. They give to children 2 and up.
I wanted to read something that I read to the county legislators when I went to the meeting the other night. Can I read it? It's real short, real quick.
Okay,
paragraph.
go ahead.
Removal of a child should be the last resort because the trauma and the psychological damage and the emotional and traumatic long-lasting effects can cause PTSD, anger management, depression, anxiety, abandonment issues, mood disorders, antisocial behavior, long-term leading to drug abuse, a lack of empathy, making them sociopaths and psychopaths, suicidal,
sociopathic narcissists, right.
Yep, that's right. Lasting effects, primal and primitive survival skills that kick in to numb the pain, turning to drug abuse, addiction, dropping out of school, leading to drug addiction, crime, criminal activity, incarceration, creating juvenile delinquency, and unproductive citizens. This is what they're creating when they put those children in those places away from their mother and father who could have loved them, and actually damage these children for the rest of their life. And I was one of those children. I was one of those children. I was raised in the foster care system, and I did not turn out in the beginning of, I had to change everything. I had to educate myself and re-educate myself. I had to go to counseling. I had to go through recovery. I had to go through so much. And it's true about those drugs. They give them to children. I wasn't not one of those children, but there's a lot of reports right now on YouTube that I was watching about the psychotropic drugs to try to calm them down, but they're not supposed to be calm. That's something that's not supposed to happen. It's unnatural. It's unnatural.
I think Stacy knows a lot more about that drug too. Go ahead, Stacy. What?
So this happened to my daughter too. So she was repeatedly running away from her father because she stated that he was choking her, and
you froze. She froze. It's the street. She's in a bad area. We didn't hear anything. We didn't hear anything.
Because
Start
she
over.
went away so many times, and they were. Yeah, I'll come. Can you hear me now?
Can you stop the car for a minute?
Hello?
Is it possible?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I hear you.
Hello.
I hear you.
All right. So my daughter was repeatedly running away from her father because she was telling people that he was choking her, and she would run away bad. Like the police would have to come find her to bring her back home. But every time she ran away and disclosed this, they still put her back into the custody of her father. So it was so bad that she got hospitalized for running away so much. And then they put her on chemical restraints, psychotropics, to stop her from running away. And one of the medications they used was Risperdal, which is a harsh antipsychotic. And it was exactly that. It was a pill to stop her from running away. And that's what she was even told. And she was put on a series of other medications as well. One was clonidine, and that was to stop her from being mad at her father. And she was given a sedative so that she could sleep at her father's house, because before she was saying that he was telling her things that scared her, so she couldn't sleep there. And so they put her on all these meds, and she was so sedated, she was afraid she was going to die. And they did that to her. And all the problems that you're talking about, she has today. She doesn't have an education, and she's supposed to be graduating, but her education is somewhere around middle school. And she's struggling to get a GED. And she has agoraphobia and doesn't leave the house. The only time she leaves the house now is to go like shopping with her father. She doesn't really have friends. And that's what they did to her.
Wow. Does she have like anxiety to leave the house? Some kids get anxiety when they've been in foster care for so long. I was ashamed that I was in foster care. So let me tell you what I did. I didn't have no friends because I didn't want to explain why I was in foster care. I didn't have no friends in high school. I was in 6 different high schools. There was no graduating. in sight for me, because I just was disconnected. You're shattered, mentally shattered, your innocence stolen. It's almost paralyzing, the amount of damage that they cause and trauma that they cause to young children when they put them in these homes that are unstable, unhealthy. There's no love. I had one foster home where the lady used to put a gate. She would lock us up in the basement and put a gate, and then she would lock the kitchen and put she had another like a door that was a gate to the kitchen. So if you're hungry, you got to wait. It's very sad what we're doing to these kids. And
well, my daughter wasn't put into foster care, but she was sent to live in the custody of her alleged sexual abuser, who also would physically strangulate her.
Are you serious?
Yeah, her father is he's an attorney formerly for CPS. And when they disclosed all this abuse, they shoved the kids to go live with him.
I cannot believe that. Well, I can, of course, because I'm seeing how evil the system is now. And it's almost shocking. It's shocking what their levels that they're willing to stoop to get kids. And they do give them to the abuser most of the time, which I can't understand for the life of me, why they choose that. And you look like a good mother, so I just couldn't even imagine.
She's a great mother. She's a great mother.
Yeah.
She's a great mother, great
now,
friend. Yeah, she's somebody you want as your sister, not even a friend. So
my kids, Miss Gino's CPS came right now because again, they're in the custody of their father, and out of 100 days of school, my daughter was absent or tardy 69 times, and my other child was absent or tardy 54 times, and the older child has no education, and the father has 4 CPS indications, 1 for educational neglect, 1 for lack of medical care, 2 for inadequate guardianship, but they always make these findings now, but they just still keep leaving the kids there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you want to share something else that you shared with me? I didn't want to say it.
I don't know. What did I share?
Education. School.
Oh, about the teacher?
The school attendance.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Out of 100 days, days, Madison only made it. I shouldn't say her name if we can fix that, I guess.
Don't say that.
Yeah, she only went to school 69. Out of 100 days, she was absent or tardy 69 times. And out of 100 days for my other child, she was absent or tardy 54.
If a mother did that, just so you know, that man I was telling you about with the district attorney, his wife and him, when they were going through a divorce, the kids were not even, I don't know, they're not even aged to go to school. It's just daycare, right? You can miss as many days as you want from daycare. The mother missed only 2 days from daycare. He literally took that to juvenile court and told juvenile court that she's not taking care of the kids' education. The kids are not even in preschool. They're just in daycare.
Daycare is not mandatory. There's no mandate for daycare.
I know. No. There is no. What are you talking about? Daycare it's kind of like when the mother's working, you take your baby to daycare.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, but it's not mandatory.
What are you talking about? That's something you pay for.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So the social worker told the mother, "Oh, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable." Now the mother called me and she said the children miss a lot of days at school. So think about it. And no one is touching him. But again, like Stacy's ex-husband, he's not being held accountable either. Right. You get it? But if Stacy was doing that, her butt will be questioned 1,000,000 times.
You're right.
Am I right?
Yeah, Stacey? They treat mothers different. That's what you're talking about, the bias.
Yes. They treat mothers different, and I for the love in me, I don't understand that, because there's some great fathers out there who are also suffering, but these great fathers are not. they have no connection to the system, really. You know what I mean? I see a lot of fathers who have connection with the system get away with everything. When I say connections, I'm saying in the same bed as the system. Okay, if you guys can understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
You're sleeping in the same bed as the system. Okay.
Mhm.
So, again, this medication, the psychotropic medication is not safe for any child, especially a 2-year-old. You know.
No, you're right.
Um, mhm.
I
This is
watched one story where they were giving it so much to teenagers. They were forcing them to. They would put the needle, in their behind and force them to take that psychotropic medication. Forced.
All right.
And then they had side effects that were long term.
I want to tell you guys something kind of funny. So,
Mhm.
I used to do nursing home care as part of my
Yeah.
career. And in the nursing homes in New York State, the Department of Health will cite you every single time that you wrote a sedative or a psychotropic to a nursing home patient, because like if they are agitated and they keep trying to get out of bed and then they fall, or that they're at risk of like injuring themselves because they're
Right.
so agitated. If you prescribe a nursing home patient a sedative to stop that agitation where you're afraid they're going to hurt themselves, you'll get cited by the state because they're like, oh, these psychotropics are so bad for the nursing home population, but yet they're okay for the kids.
Little kids, little children,
We'll
babies.
get cited if we give them to a nursing home patient, but they're encouraging them for kids.
There you go. You know what's so funny that you say that? In that article that I was reading, it said the same exact thing. They're not allowed in nursing homes, but they're allowed in foster homes.
Yeah, it's illegal. It's chemical restraint.
Mm-hmm.
It's chemical restraint.
Right, and I know a foster parent, but she's a good foster parent, her and her husband, and the kids, they have teen kids, and they are forced to take medication. And I keep telling them this is not the right. They said, "Well, if we don't give them the medication, we'll get in trouble." So even some foster homes don't know why they're giving these kids the medication, and that's what's making the kids crazy. That's what you guys don't understand. That's why the kids run away from their homes. That's why the kids act crazy at the home of the foster home. It's because of these medications that they're not allowed. A nursing home is not allowed to, like, if anyone give it to a nursing home, in a nursing home, they can get fired, or I don't know. What did Stacy say? They
brought up on some type of judicial
charges. Yeah, criminal charges. You're literally committing a crime. But they're giving it in a foster homes for 2-year-olds and up. That's why the children don't have a future. Children don't have a future when you start the child on psych medication, because you want to keep them quiet because they're reacting over the fact that you stole them from their mother, from the home, from the caregiver.
Right. And then you put them on drugs.
Exactly. And then you blame the mother and the father for your demonic actions, CPS. And then you say that the kids are behaving that way because of the parents. You're lying. See, your lies are so great that you guys will be exposed one by one. I guarantee you, and I'm not joking, as Fannie Wills is being exposed, as others are being jailed and exposed in the government, you also will be jailed and exposed, because there's people like me, like Treasure, like Stacy, other people all over that will expose you, because we will not rest until you are exposed. Because the families that really do hurt their children, you give no attention to, because as you supervisors put it, they're damaged goods. We don't need them.
Wow.
So you want to take healthy children so you can A, get placement for them, permanent placement for them in a foster home, or B, get them adoption, and usually focus on the adoption part depending on the age of the child, because you guys know your entity, your department will get millions of dollars from the federal government that my tax dollars goes to. I pay you your salary. I pay you your Tesla. I pay you your BMW and Mercedes-Benz, social workers. So you guys barge into a woman's home or a man's home or a parent's home and tell them that you have the authority and the power to just barge in their home. Let me explain something to you. As Fannie Wills thought she has power and control, she will also be exposed in ways that she could never process. Her mighty attitude in court yesterday made me want to vomit all over her. Because according to her, she was telling the attorney, "Oh, I don't care. I'm still going to be here. Do whatever you want to do, girl. I'm still going to be here." Exactly like that. She was ghetto. Like
They call their
ghetto town, like the worst areas of ghetto town. That's the way she sounded. That was her behavior. If you guys watch, you'll understand. That woman felt entitled. Exactly. I swear, as God is my witness, I saw the devil in front of me, because social workers behave exactly like her. Exactly like her.
And to call themselves child protective services, they don't even do us a service. They just do us a disservice. Protect the children. That's not their aim, to protect them.
No, but you guys have to understand something too. Child protective services is just a name.
Yeah.
It wasn't, when it first started, it was for orphanage children, meaning children who their family died. No, there's no family anywhere in the world. Okay. CPS take advantage of their own rule book.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is, in their rule book, it says family placement first. So what do? They come up with excuses as to why the family member should not have the child.
Right. That's what
the reason for that, because the funding that they will get is not going to be mega, right? Funding.
Mm-hmm.
If the child is placed with family, they want the child placed in a foster home, because that's where they get most of their money from the federal government.
In New York State, there's no cap on federal funding that the states receive when kids go into foster care, but there is a cap on the amount of federal funding they receive when they go into kinship care.
There you go. You guys hear that? That's why they don't want to place children with family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do? They tell the grandmother or the aunt or the uncle or whoever, you have to be a foster. You have to get your foster license to get your grandkids. But why? I'm grandma. Why do I have to be a foster mom? Well, that's just the law. What law?
That's literally in the appeal that we're doing for this grandmother.
Yeah.
Same thing.
There's no such law.
She can't see she can't take guardianship. She's not a certified foster parent.
Yeah, did you guys hear that? That's exactly what happens in juvenile court. Exactly that.
New York State, you do not have to be certified to be a grandmother.
Can I tell you guys something? I am a certified caretaker for my 2 grandsons that they took from me, and they would not give them to me. I was a certified caretaker. I have paperwork proving I have a legitimacy foster home. I mean, daycare, running a daycare for my 2 grandsons. My daughter goes to work, and they would not give me the grandchildren. They would not give them to me.
Now you know why. Now you know why.
But that was not because of your daycare. That was for something else. I mean, that was not because of your license. That was for something else. Huh?
The Article 10 also, they used that at the last thing that they used against me was that old 1996 Article 10.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. They will.
But now you know why.
It's not the Article 10. It was your services.
They were making more money keeping the child in foster care.
Yeah.
Than relinquishing the child to you.
Exactly. Yes. And she's the grandmother. And a lot of people in America think that foster social workers are good people. They're not good people. If they're good people, they wouldn't be staying in there. I told you guys 100 times about the 2 friends I have who worked for the Department of Children and Family Service. 2 different departments, 2 different counties away from each other. One is Northern California, one is Southern California. And they both said the same thing to me. They showed me evidence, concrete evidence from supervisors supervisors telling them to go to the hospital, remove a baby, and that to meet some nurse, and the nurse will tell them what to do.
Lord,
You
God in
guys
heaven.
understand this is a setup? They usually target women who can't afford attorneys.
Yeah, that's right. They do.
Okay?
Disenfranchised, poor people that don't have no money. You know, you know what? I felt like I had to sell my car in order. I was trying to get a lawyer during my. I didn't. The judge
Right.
doesn't have to appoint the grandmother
Right.
a lawyer.
Right.
I'm just a relative, and I was trying. I filed petition after petition after petition. He said, I don't have to give you a lawyer. You got to get your own, or I got to defend myself.
But see, the problem is, okay, the problem is when you get the first initial meeting with a supposedly a social worker, if you find a business card when you come home, you need to lawyer up immediately.
Right.
Oftentimes I find you guys calling family law attorneys. Why in the name of God do you guys think that the state court is considered family court? They're not family court. Family court is family court, right?
Yeah.
And state court, they treat both parents as separately.
Yeah.
That's why you can't have one attorney for both of you. You have to have one attorney for each one of you.
Yes.
Okay? They divide family. This is division of family. State is called division of family. Family court is united family. They try to do mediation, try to work on a marriage, blah, 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 blah. In state court, they say, oh, no, we want your baby, we want your child because we're going to make money today, baby.
Yeah.
Mommy is looking to buy her Tesla. That's exactly what a social worker wrote down on one of the gals that I know. She wrote her a text message and she said, baby, go get them babies because I'm waiting for my Tesla. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So you guys think my passion, my anger, I become passionate because I know the truth. I see it. I freaking see it.
Yeah.
But what they do is they tell them, if you ever speak of this, we will come after your kids. I mean, you're not they're young kids. These girls don't have children and they don't want to.
Most of them don't have no children. Why is that? You know why?
Because they told me that when they went to apply for the department, in the interview, they asked them if you want children. Are you going to have children in the future? Both of them said, no, we don't want to have children in the future. But if we do decide to have children in the future, we don't know what's going to happen. Oh, we're going to have to transfer you to a different office position.
Oh, yeah.
Phone position or intake
what you just
position.
said makes a lot of sense. My little sister was a caseworker for New Jersey, Child Protective Services. My little sister is about 51 years old. She never had a child.
Yeah.
And she's a caseworker. I mean,
she can't.
Because I don't know her
if
like
she
that.
She has a child, she can't be a caseworker.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. Yeah. None of them have.
Let me tell you why. And I said this before, because they know if you become a mom, you're going to have compassion. They don't want you to have compassion. They want you to be a sociopath, narcissistic, bankrupt from your soul. Literally. In order for you to do what they want you to do. Both supervisors in each department told them that you forget every training you went to when you work here. So apparently in all the other states, right? They're telling them the same thing. They don't. That's why people say, Miss G, it's in their book. It's in their book. Their book says, family placement first, and their book says, but they're not following the rules, right? But what they do is they violate their rules by making up false allegations.
That's right.
The only way to violate your rules is by making false allegations to the mother, to the grandmother, against the aunt, the uncle, whoever.
They blockade any family member that tries to help or get the children. Anybody.
That is correct.
They us, all
that
of us.
Is correct. So you guys have to understand lawyer up. And I'm not joking when I say lawyer up. And do not just think. And when I say lawyer up, look for a CPS defense attorney. Again, a CPS defense attorney. When you call that office, you say, hey, do you handle CPS cases? And they say, no, but we can handle one, or two. No, thank you. Might as well just stay with your court-appointed attorney.
Right.
Okay? So why are you wasting your money?
They're lying.
Exactly. You have to look for a CPS defense attorney. Mr. Davis is getting hired in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like this man and it's a couple. And this is another country, dude. What I'm trying to tell you guys, these people, they don't care about you. They will make sure that you don't have any of the children.
Right.
They don't care about you.
Yeah.
They will make you think that they're on your side. It's called, that's why they send you so many different social workers, the good one and the bad one. The first one is so nice. She said everything was great, blah, 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 blah. Then you have the second one, the bitch from hell. That one is telling you that, you know what, there's a lot of laundry on the floor. Why is the detergent out? Why is this and that? Why are dishes in the sink? And it's like they come unexpected and they ask you, why is there dishes in the sink? Well, we had dinner and we're talking to you and that's why the dishes are in the sink. But in the social worker's little peanut brain, oh no, the house is not kept.
Right. The crazy
thing, just like what's his name, the guy we spoke to last night. They said the same thing to his home.
About him, yes.
About him, that his house is not kept.
Yeah.
He was remodeling the house.
Yes.
Okay? Remodeling the house. But they took the wood and the paint and all the equipments as the house is
unkept.
Dirty.
Yeah, dirty. Unkept. And you know what? If you have your place settings like for Thanksgiving, they'll say, "Oh, there's a knife on the table. It's in danger of the children and children." And you know they'll find anything. They're looking for anything.
Anything against you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So please lawyer up. And believe me when I tell you this, the first initial retainer with a CPS defense attorney, when you did not speak to the damn social workers already. Oftentimes mothers stop talking.
Right.
Oftentimes the mother will say, well, Miss So-and-so, I have nothing to hide. You can ask me anything you want. Right? That's exactly what the moms do. I have nothing to hide.
They should hide the kids. They should hide the kids, Miss G.
No, please. And I'm like listening to the moms telling me this, and I'm like watching the videos, and then mothers are like, oh yeah, I can tell you anything, Miss Georgette. Go ahead, ask me anything you want. I have nothing to hide. And then the social worker, while she's taping the social worker, I see all this. The social worker is asking her, where's the father of the child? We're going through a separation. Girl, he's a narcissist. Girl, he's crazy. He's crazy. Like that. That's how she was telling the social worker. And I'm like, oh my God. And then the social worker is asking her, well, what did he do? Did he hit you? What did he do? What happened? And the social worker sounded so like, what happened? What happened?
Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment is your constitutional right to not speak to anybody. You don't have to tell nobody or disclose any information with the Fifth Amendment. We got to know our rights, people. I learned mine. I'm still.
And also, you guys have to understand, the social worker will act like she's your friend. She's not your friend. Right. She's just laughing at you on the inside.
And they're turning the story around. Whatever you tell them, it's flipped to a whole nother degree against you. Everything that you say can and will be against you in the court of family.
Not family. That's not a family court. It's not say family court. Family is united. State is divided. Let's remember that. Family court is to unite. State is to divide. Okay?
Yes.
Separation. Yep. They separate. State is separation of family. Yep. That's why when you first get a business card, if you're walking outside your door and you see a business card and it says children of
Family services.
Children of family services.
Pick up a phone.
A
Where? Call
CPS
Mr.
defense
Davis.
attorney. But if they come to your house with the cops, because oftentimes these cowards are scared.
Right.
Okay. So what do? They call the cops. I have nothing against cops. I love them. I do. I respect them. However, cops are not educated on that part. Right? They're not educating them on that part, because when they see a badge, when they see a social worker badge, what they do is they trust the fact that they have a court order. So oftentimes some cops say, do you have a court order to go to me escorting you to the house to remove the children? And the social worker says yes, and then a right cop will say, can I see the court order, please? Then if she has a court order, she will show it to him. Right. If she doesn't have a court order, then she would say, well, I don't have it. Then an honest cop will say, well, then I can't escort you.
I'm not removing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not
removing children.
For
if
them
the judge, right, no judge signature that the children are in imminent danger, sweetie, not just a complaint from the from a friend or a neighbor or whatever the case may be, then yes, remove the children, for God's sakes, help them. But you guys don't want them because they're damaged. You want to take healthy children to damage them, right? Because you have to be possessed by demons to damage all these children.
I think they're a part of the dark web. I think that they might be doing like, taking pictures of our kids. Who knows what experiments I heard.
There's a lot where a lot of the children that's coming from the borders, they're missing.
I know that. That's
their organs out of their body. Their organs are cut out of their bodies.
Yep.
Right? The heart, the liver, you name it. And the foreigners that's coming in, they don't speak English.
Right.
I spoke to one the other day, last week. I had to get a translator because I didn't understand what she was saying. She was hysterical. There's a woman, she says, she works for the government. She said, we're going to take your kids. I don't know where my kids are. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything. She said she's gonna tell me where they're going to go. This is the government, blah, 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 blah. And she's going crazy.
I knew that.
Every other mother that she knows that across the whatever, going through the same thing. One mother, she said, she found her child, her 4-year-old, missing a kidney, literally cut out kidney, hearts, and all that. Why is the media not showing any of that?
Right. I think that's very important.
They're talking about it. They're talking, but they're not showing it.
No.
But, that's why I said I respect cops, because they see a lot of crap. A lot of crap.
Yeah.
I don't know the extent with the FBI and the CIA and all that. I respect them too. But again, they always have to have a higher up holding their hand. Unless you become a whistleblower. But if you become a whistleblower working for the government, you're in deep crap.
But somebody has to be held accountable, Miss G. And the thing about it is they shift the blame. They got so many entities of government agents that it's hard to know which one to hold accountable. And then they try to shift the blame. They shift
the actual officer, right? That's why it's kind of like... That's why we should never judge cops and law enforcement, because again, at least we can record them.
Yes, they let us.
They let us record, but social workers don't.
CPS won't. They don't want you to record.
At least cops carry a camera.
Yeah.
Social workers don't.
I suggest that people should get a camera in all their houses now, outside and inside the house, in case.
You have to be careful with that. The only time that you can get away with it, if you're in California, you have to have a sign outside your door.
Yeah.
Outside your door, visible, that says this house is 24-hour surveillance.
I have that sign here in New York.
And then the social worker walks in, right?
Yes.
Your home, and she's being recorded because she already saw the sign.
Yeah.
If you have a good CPS defense attorney, then that he or she will make sure the court sees that, because
Yeah.
that will contradict what she wrote down in the report. That's how you need proof, baby. But you have to get your proof right. Because Jennifer Ani, an attorney that I had on my shows,
Mm-hmm.
I love her so much. She's no longer a CPS defense attorney. She went to family law. She doesn't want to deal with CPS anymore. But
Wow.
she was great. But the thing about it is, she said that on the show twice. She said, if you want to make sure that you can carry that as evidence, make sure that outside your door, you have a sign that says this
Mhm.
house is 24-hour surveillance. Once the social worker walks through your door inside your home, he or she cannot say, you can't record me.
That's right.
If you're outside meeting the social worker, it's a public place, you can record her ass.
Okay.
Okay. So this came from an attorney. So
Yes.
I'm not giving you this as advice because I'm being, I don't know, giving it out of my butt. This came from an attorney. And you guys have to understand your rights. In your state, if you have uh, uh, two-party consent in California, you have to ask permission to be recorded, right?
Yes.
On the phone. On the phone. You have to let them know that you're recording them. If they're on the phone and you're on the phone with them, you cannot use that. I was told by an attorney again that you cannot use that. You have to hear the other party say, I consent for you to record me. So that came from another attorney, because I wanted to know that. I wanted to know really what the truth is, because
Yeah.
I hear conflicted stories from different attorneys, but
Yeah.
sometimes attorneys lie too. So most of the attorneys I spoke with, they all said the same thing. So I'm telling you that just lawyer up. Before anything, God forbid, happens, make sure you have cameras everywhere. Make
Yeah.
sure you have that sign. Everyone should have that sign. I have a sign.
I
I
have a
have
sign.
a huge sign I got from Amazon. Huge sign that says this house is 24-hour surveillance, because I
Yeah.
have cameras everywhere. I have cameras outside my garage. I have
Yeah.
cameras, behind my windows. I have cameras in
Yeah.
my room. You can see it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. I have cameras in the hallway. I have literally, I will see everybody from each angle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not joking. I have a
No.
sign in front and I have a sign in the back. And I have a sign by the garage, because the
Yeah.
garage has like 8 cameras
Yeah.
from each side. You know what I mean? Like here, here, here. You know what I mean? Like I make sure. So if anybody's jumping or anybody's doing, it's covered. Because sometimes cameras don't show everything.
Right.
Right? They don't show everything. I'll give you guys an example. Here, I'll show you something. Hold on. I'm teaching you something because I didn't know this until I was educated as well. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like, you see how, like, this is my living room, right? You see
Yes.
that? Okay. So the camera can only show this much, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't show the other side
Right.
of the wall, right?
Right.
So make sure that you have in cameras where you cover everything. So if the social worker decided to go to the kitchen to talk to you, make sure that that camera is visible, not visible, but is there where
Yeah.
you can hear the voice very clear and the aim is very clear. So if there's a dining room, make sure the camera is aimed at the dining room,
Yeah.
right? Make sure that you have cameras in the living room.
Yeah.
The living room where the couches are, where that lazy chair are, make sure that the cameras are facing that position. When you have a social worker in your home, do not have the TV on. Because when you have the TV on, you can't make what is saying through the camera.
Right. It'll distract what the voices are trying to.
Yeah.
But
So make sure, even if they don't have a CPS case, make sure you have all this in your home.
Yeah. It's a very good idea. You're very right.
Because you want to be prepared. You don't know. You just
Yeah.
don't know. It just happens like that. Because
Yeah.
when you least expect it, this woman's kids, they came and took her kids on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day.
That's terrible.
So don't wait. The social workers are telling you to wait until no, what the social workers are coming up with this now. Don't hire an attorney. You're gonna have your kids in 3 months if you sign this safety plan. If you do your classes, you're gonna have your kids in 3 months. This court-appointed attorney says, just sign here that you admit to the allegations.
Right.
And I'm gonna go inside the court because you're not allowed in there because they're having secret hearings and shit. So you're standing outside the courtroom waiting.
That's
and then
right.
He comes out like a salesman, right? Like a car salesman that is trying to get you a discount on your vehicle.
That's right.
So he goes in the courthouse and he comes back. He's like, well, the judge and I spoke and, I fought really hard inside for you. And, if you just admit to the guilt, you're going to have your kids tonight. That's a lie.
And they usually do it 5 o'clock on a Friday.
Yep. It was like 4:45. Right.
Yeah. Friday.
But what I'm saying is, do not sign anything that you didn't do.
Right.
Like Davis gets asked that a lot. They say, Mr. Davis, the social worker made me sign it, blah, blah, blah. What should I do? And then Davis would ask, like, why did the social worker make you sign it? Were you responsible for these allegations? No, Mr. Davis, but they told me that I would get my kids back. Well, why would you admit? What makes anyone in their right mind think that if you admit to the allegations that you will get your kids back? I would like somebody to answer that for me. No one in the right mind should admit to allegations they did not do.
I think most people did, though. I think most people have because they're scared out of fear.
They're scared. No, most people didn't do it. No, they didn't do it. It's just allegations.
Yeah.
Unfounded allegation. Literally unfounded.
That's right.
Unfounded.
No
unfounded claims. No evidence.
Yeah.
They will still remove your children.
Yes.
That's what you guys understand. You guys think the system works. The system doesn't work.
It's broken.
And this is why I get mad. The system is not just broken. We're past broken.
Right.
Right? It's not family court is broken.
Oh,
State court is a whole nother level of insanity.
Yeah. State
court is a whole nother level of insanity because they make all their money from children. Without children, they're going to be broke.
They're sickos then.
Yeah. They're going to be broke.
Yeah.
That judge cannot afford his $1 million home. The social worker cannot afford her Tesla. Right? Think about it. Social workers went from making $25,000 a year to $33,000 a year to almost $290,000 a year, including incentives with that amount. So what they do is they make $179,000 before incentives.
Yeah.
Before the bonuses. And then people say, oh, no, they don't make that much money. No, honey. You don't know what the hell you're saying. And usually the ones who are saying that are social workers. So do not be fooled by these people. I'm begging you, do not be fooled by these people. You need to lawyer up immediately. Don't waste your time. Because God knows I spoke to enough mothers today that, that my mouth literally is dry from speaking to them. I am educating them and telling them, and they still insist that they're good mothers, and all they have to do is follow the guidelines of the social workers, whatever they request, and they're going to be fine. Or God is with them, and this and this and that. So remember, it doesn't work that way. Because they want the baby or they want the children because that's where their money is. Okay, so guys, Stacy and Treasure. Okay, guys, I don't know what happened to Treasure. Here we go. All right, guys, so we're gonna call it a night. Have a good evening, everyone. God bless you, and remember, please educate your family, educate your friends, educate your neighbors. Always lawyer up. Always be prepared. And don't ever, 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 ever think that they're on your side. They're not on your side. They will never be on your side. Okay? Don't talk to them. They're not your friend. Lawyer up immediately, please. And I'm praying for you guys. God bless you all. And we'll see you guys on Monday. My prayer shows at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. So my shows are Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Okay? So have a great night, you guys. Bye-bye.